So I want to talk about money, which I think is a good thing in that it's well, no, I don't think it's a good. I think it's a neutral thing. I think that it, as a mechanism, could be helpful. In terms of being a store is something that can store value in relatively small increments that are easily transportable. It also offers a means of exchange, and so I think it's useful that we don't have to exchange 4,000 artichokes in order to get a grand piano like they might have. As that's how Neanderthals had to purchase things. All they had was artichokes and other vegetables that they'd have to exchange for their cell phones, other technology. Like, it was, people forget how it was back then, hundreds of years ago, when the Neanderthals roamed the earth with flip phones. But that's kind of like a fringe group that only values money. It's like most people, even like the people at the top of the society, value other things. Like, even, they value, they know that there's more to life than just money. It's like, for them, there's power, there's fame, there's other important values to be gained. And then unfortunately, those are the people that are on television, and it's like, why? How come those are the people that are, like, that doesn't reflect most other people? I'll talk about most other people in a minute, but it's like, why is that what's always there? Well, it's because the people that have the money and have the power and have the fame, the money and power, just as I talked about, allows them to control things like the media, control things like the narrative, control things like the, I don't know, what other people hear and the values that are elevated in the way, in that, I don't know, it takes a lot of enlightened people, making pottery in a cave, screaming loudly in order to get a megaphone loud as a single billionaire using his wealth to propagate his view of the world. And so as a result of that, that's what's elevated. But despite all of that being what most people see and hear, and the only values that are really consistently elevated in kind of a self-reinforcing cycle in terms of kind of the makeup of the political economy and the values in the West or around the world increasingly with globalization. Despite that, most people know that money isn't the main value, and neither is power or fame. And it's like, there's other things that are more important, and I'm still trying to figure out what those are. But it's like, there's other values, family, community, maybe some type of spirituality. I don't know. These are things that I've Googled that maybe are more important. And it's kind of like a interesting commentary that despite those, I know you see them, they're on like the Lifetime channel, but they're only on the Lifetime channel and on television programs like Brothers and Sisters and stuff on NBC, because then there's the commercials that can get you to buy more shit with your money. And so it's like, it's kind of a bait and switch, but you get little bits and pieces of it here, because the people making the commercials, they're really smart, and they put on things that can pull on heartstrings. And if that's the case, which I think it is, that most people, if you ask them, if you really get them to tunnel down and be like, okay, what's the most important things? They're not going to say money, and they won't say power and status and fame. I mean, they will to a degree, but I think most people kind of realize there's other more important values, but that doesn't stop them from living life, or stop people in general from living life as if that wasn't the case, in terms of pretty much all the important decisions that are made are in relation to increasing our wealth. What kind of job do I need? What education I need for a job? Where do I need to, move to in order to get the job? It's like pretty much all the decisions that most people make are kind of tailored around that, tailored around money, and then also the power and status and things that are related to that. And as a consequence, I think it's like, as that happens more, it's kind of reinforcing in that it's like, okay, they get more of it, and then they feel more empty. And so as you feel more empty, you feel like you need to fill that hole with more stuff in order to get more money. And so in that way, even though people conceptually kind of have an idea that this isn't the right way, that doesn't stop most people from acting in that way. So in my opinion, money is valuable, but only insofar as it allows you the freedom and flexibility to pursue the other things that you're actually interested in and that you actually value. So it's valuable in terms of look, I have money. Now I can have health insurance. Now I don't have to amputate my foot. Now I don't have to hop across the street, and not go fast enough. Now I've been hit by a car because I didn't have the money to get the health care to take care of this infection in my foot, and I've been hit by a car, and now I've lost my other foot as well. And so I probably shouldn't make fun of that, because that is things that happen to people. So it's like, okay, it's good. You have money, you have health insurance. Now that thing is off the table. You have money, you have food. Now you don't have to worry about starving, because if you don't have health insurance and you don't have feet and you don't have food, then it's kind of hard to, like, I don't know, figure out the other things you want before you have feet. Again, this is probably insensitive in some way. All these woke millennials are taking away our ability to make fun of the feetless. And I remember I made it, I don't know. It's making me feel pretty making me feel pretty defeated. I swear I didn't plan on saying that, but I did write a joke about that years ago. I don't know what I have against the feetless, but yeah, no, money is good in that it allows you the freedom to be all right. But it's like, okay, your belly's full, your feet are attached, your healthcare is there, you have a roof over your head. What do you need now? Okay, you have transportation, you got that. Okay, what else do you need? Jewelry? You need jewelry? Okay, you have jewelry. What else? Eventually it's like, okay, another car, another house, stocks. And it's like, huh? What are you doing? You think that this shiny thing on your finger is like really? And it's like, nobody, if you really stop and think about it, like, nobody thinks that. But that doesn't stop everyone from buying jewelry and getting things like that and being jealous of other people with that type of jewelry. In fact, the jealousy is the only reason that people would ever buy that, because you could get a piece of glass for $2 and it would look pretty much the same as this $1 million diamond ring, but nobody would want it because everybody else could have it. And so what does that say about, I don't know. And if you stop to think about it, you realize how unhealthy that mindset is, but you've based your whole life around it, and the pursuit of money is kind of at the center of it. And so it's like, I think that, and this is obvious, everybody knows that, like, there's been studies that after like $75,000, people's happiness doesn't really increase that much with income. But up to that point, it kind of does, because people are getting their basic needs met. But I don't know. It's like, I don't know if people find themselves, and I'm trying to keep this in mind too, if I find myself doing stuff just to get more money without the consideration of what I'm getting that money for, and if the reason isn't because it allows me, for me, the big one is it allows time off and flexibility and, like, the ability to travel and pursue my other interests. And so that's super important, as well as those other things. But yeah, I don't know, it's just something to keep in mind.